My father was a huge influence on me. My father was a very solid, honest person with a great sense of service. And my mother also was a leader in everything she did. So I have great parents who both have lived lives of service and accomplishment, and both with absolute ethics.
He's an amazing thinker. His mind works in ways that he just can really unfold and peel the onion back and understand the complexities of things very quickly, but take those complexities and figure out how we're going to move forward to advance the outcomes.
Well, I really like being a CEO. It's a great job. You need to figure out what the organization needs done, and then as CEO, you need to put the pieces together to do it. When I originally got to Kaiser Permanente, we had some pretty good scores, but we weren't number one in a lot of scores, and I was very happy and very proud when we got to number one.
George, when he first came to Kaiser Permanente, was laser focused on Kaiser Permanente, on lifting our capabilities up, on helping us realize the potential that we had to be the very best. George understood that in a time of great change in the organization, it was going to be critical to connect with people around why things were changing, what the changes were about, what was expected of people. And he had a unique way of doing that by writing letters to the entire organization every week.
The first letter that I actually wrote to all of the people at Kaiser Permanente was a letter that said we're going to be a very diverse organization. We're going to celebrate our diversity. Our diversity is going to be an asset and a strength.
I believe that George very strategically used these letters to help set the culture of this organization in a way that you could not do with a memo from the CEO to employees, but to connect with them personally through these letters directly from George Halvorson.
I think the intent of those letters was to keep setting the direction and reminding people in the organization of what the direction was. If people read those and said, oh, I'd better be doing such and such in order to live up to that, that was all the better.
Which he always signed every single week, "Be well, George."
First coming into the organization and putting a stake in the ground and saying we're going to move forward with electronic medical records. He understood what that meant in terms of data, what it meant in terms of our ability to manage quality, our ability to manage variation. And so he put a stake in the ground and he really moved the organization in that direction.
We can put everything on the computer and then make that available to caregivers in a support setting. We can do things to scale that other people can't do at all. We have an electronic medical library that's the best electronic medical library in the world. And so being big in this case wasn't a handicap, it's actually a huge asset. But it's only an asset if you turn it into an asset.
So I think it was a very deliberate process. It was a process of getting people to step back from where they were to understand what we were trying to accomplish and what the future, a lot of this was about, what is the future going to be and how is this system going to help us become the leaders of healthcare in the future?
We spent the $4 billion and the asset worked, and the caregivers used it, and they used it in very smart ways. And so the result of that was we won all the quality awards.
What I love about George is that he treats all people the same, regardless of the work that they do or the place that he sees them. He's always friendly, he's always interested in people, and people really feel that about him.
And I remember that we were all very nervous because there was this new CEO coming into the organization. And he came and he told his story. And we were surprised that a part of George's story was to talk about diversity.
And one of the things I believe, because Kaiser Permanente was the most diverse organization in the country in healthcare and still won J.D. Power's Consumer Reports, HEDIS, won all of those things, that you can take diversity and you can make it into a real strength.
George is visionary and strategic in his thinking, and George engages the people because he knows it's through the teams, it's through the people, it's having them engaged in what we're doing, having them believe in what we're doing, having them understand why we're doing it, that we're truly going to be able to optimize the opportunities that we have, both Kaiser Permanente as an organization and as a nation.
He said, Kaiser Permanente never defined me. And so I'm looking forward to my next challenges.
The work he's doing now around early childhood development. He got fascinated by the evidence on how critical that early period was and how simple, direct things like reading to a child could make a huge difference in their future and their prospects for the future.
We've got to go to those kids, and we know that that cycle starts in the first 3 years of life. That's when the neurons in the brain develop. That's when the connectivity happens. Every kid we save is a kid we save. You can literally save kids one at a time by intervening in their lives and giving them that education. Every kid we lose is a kid we lose. And now is when you either save or lose the kid. So we need to get people involved now. And I think there is a critical mass. I think we need to do this work, and we need to do it now.